Yay, we're live.
Hey, we're live. I hope everyone's doing well and had a good start of the week and getting all your stuff for Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, it's never ending, the list of stuff that you need for Thanksgiving. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to Deep Dives in the Desert. We're going to do a hangout. We don't have our Emma with us.
It's not the same.
Yeah, she's taking a step back from the podcast right now. She got a really busy schedule. And hey, Zach, how are you?
Hey, Zach.
And anyway, so she's not going to be here, and I think it's going to be a while, right? Oh, I didn't put my mic on. I hope you guys can hear me.
It'll be probably just a little bit, but hopefully she'll get everything going and she'll be back and see a cute little face on camera again.
Yeah, she's got. You can hear me? Okay, good. He's like, you talk loudly, so no problem. Anyway, just kidding. Anyway, yeah, so we're not going to have Em for a little bit, and even with the interviews and stuff. So hopefully we can get a schedule where we can do something like a hangout like this when she'll be off.
Yeah.
And then, she can participate in that. That would be cool. So anyway, so that's what we're doing. But tonight, I had gone on to Twitter, and I found these like crazy videos. And what?
Tim.
Yeah.
Hi,
Tim. And anyway, so we're going to share some of those with you guys and talk about that a little bit. And then we also were watching something that was talking about the finance stuff. And you and Jace cover that a lot on Crypto Corner.
Yeah. So, there's a lot going on with that, with just the market. But, it's been weird for a while because everyone knows that it's been just kind of a shit show what's been going on. I mean, with the printing of money and all the things that we all know what's going on with the country, and we're at a fragile spot. And with that, you have the stock market, creating new highs.
Yeah.
With the same people who kind of got us into quite a bit of trouble, but which that was crazy. So when I had clients that were talking about that they wanted to stay in some of their traditional investments because the market was doing good, I was just thinking, it's like, I understand what they're saying, but it's not the right reason to stay in the market, because that means it's artificially inflated. And then when the bubble bursts, that's when most people take a big, big hit because it's going up on BS. It's obviously being propped up.
And now we have so many other options and stuff we could do. I mean, you were in, selling precious metals and everything like that. So you've seen that and that market. So we can discuss that a little bit too. And then, and you were, a financial advisor for years, and he was vice president of the brokerage department and banks and stuff like that. So it's interesting to kind of get your take on kind of what's going on and stuff. And now that you've kind of dipped our foot into crypto.
Yeah. And so with the show that we do, we start really diving deep into crypto. So it's really informative, but what I
keep talking. I'm going to make sure that Facebook is live.
Okay. And what I like to do is, we could talk about now and what we got to do now, and that's always good. But I would think it's just interesting, going back and seeing what happened, in kind of 2008, what caused the recession, and then, did anything change? Are we heading down the same road, one of the same roads, which yes, we are, in a much faster, we're just like a bullet train. We're heading towards the cliff. And they're doing the same things that they did back then, just in bigger numbers. But when you see what they're doing, and you see during that recession, that gold nearly tripled during that time. And as a financial advisor, I was ignorant really about physical gold.
Yeah.
Because you're really just taught to keep money under management, and it's not in a malicious way. It's just how it is. But after 2008, and I saw, the one asset class that really did well was gold. I started to look into it. And I was excited to kind of move out of where I was and to get into gold because it was more protective and something that I thought really had value. So really interesting. And then moving into the crypto space after gold and silver, which is again was a whole new avenue for me, and that's really interesting ways to make passive income. And I think that's the way we're going to be moving forward. So we'll get into some of that. Yeah. And I think we have a couple of clips too from one of our favorite guys to watch because he's just he's funny, smart and funny, And you know, so it'll be.
How do we
good.
put the ticker on there? Emma's not here to tell us. Did she show you?
Yeah, I had it going on the other one.
You could. Sorry, guys.
There you go.
There it is. Yay!
So
We're trying to figure it all out with Emma. It's like so different. She would just take care of that stuff, and I let her. You know, like I wasn't really like, oh, okay. I was just like, you got that part. I'll, you know, book the interviews part, and then when she stepped out,
I'll be the pretty one.
yeah, he'll be the pretty one. And then so then when she stepped out of it, we were like, oh crap, like we don't want to do so much of this stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be a learning curve, but you know, we'll figure it out anyway. But let's share screen and show a couple of these. These are like crazy.
Pretty, yeah. This is pretty interesting. So I hope we like to see what you guys think. And you guys, let's see what you think too. Let's get into it.
Yeah, like let's look at a couple of these and see. So we're gonna share screen, and then yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
And then I think you hit share down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the first. Is that we had to turn the yeah.
You see it, right?
I'm actually, yes,
Okay.
I do see it.
Okay.
It's getting weirder by the second.
I know.
It's like they're sticking around.
Look
We're
at that.
gonna do some
Anybody?
digging and figure out what that is. Back in a moment.
Are we rolling on that?
What do you think that was?
It's so funny when they.
So I wanted them to be able to. Yeah, there.
There it is. Look at that.
Bad.
What? What's that?
Aliens? I don't know.
What the heck
Where
is
is that? You see it, right?
I'm actually, yes,
Okay.
I do see it.
Okay.
It's getting weirder by the second.
I know.
Yes,
It's
that would
sticking
do this.
around.
We're gonna.
All right. Let's see. Let's go back there.
Did we stop share screen? There we go. So that was crazy. Hey Phil, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, so that was crazy. I don't even know what that was, but that we kind of cut off before the end of it. But somebody in the background, that girl goes, "What was that? Did you see that?" And some lady yells from the background. She's like, "Shut up!" I think because they're still on camera or something.
They didn't probably realize they had a hot mic.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Did you guys see that?
I think, you know, that's going to be, thank you, Phil. I think that, you know, these are the kind of things that are going to be popping up
yeah.
now, because as we're moving into this age of Aquarius, and I don't know a whole bunch about those kind of things, but what I was hearing was it's like, you know, Capricorn that we just moved out of was more grounded, it's earth, and things like kind of moving more slowly and things like that. It's about, you know, the establishment and all of that kind of stuff. Now Aquarius, even though it's holding like the water, it's an air sign, and everything's going to be speeding up and moving very, very quickly. It's going to feel like in our technology and our medical stuff and all of that, it's going to go, you know, fairly quickly, you know, with how these things kind of ramp up. And I feel it. I don't know if you, hey, Liz, good to see you. Liz is my like childhood friend.
Oh, Liz.
Yeah. So she's at our wedding.
Yeah. Hey, Liz.
Anyway, so I think, you know, now that we're kind of moving into that, we're going to see a lot of these kind of things. Because I mean, that was like on the news. Not that it was somebody caught it with a camera. We have some of those too, where people caught them with a camera. You want to show another one?
Yeah. Let's see another one.
Yeah.
I just think with the exposure coming out, it's gonna get pretty wild.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going back to Okay, share screen. Let's go to the next one. Okay, you gotta turn the volume on again. Oh, maybe it doesn't have volume.
Look at that thing.
It's the St.
Perfectly
Augustine.
normal. That always happens.
Look at that.
If I had a nickel.
Wow.
Look how it's getting closer. What is it really? What is that?
Okay, that started over. Okay, so there's that one. Let's do the next one down. Okay, this one is in the clouds, like they're clearly on an airplane.
Look at this.
It's like a fleet.
I don't know what that is. That is some weird shit.
It sounds like me.
Millennia 2735, contact between 120, decimal 7, good day. Between 120.7, good day, Millennia 2735.
Wow.
Right?
You know how scared I would be thinking, what if they not shot the plane up?
I don't think that we have to make an assumption that they're malevolent.
Well, I know, but if I was that high, I would make the assumption.
Oh, but they're all kind of starting to just fade out,
Just dissipate. Wow.
right?
Yeah, Mama. Wanna get
That's a
one more?
crazy one. Yeah, you want to do one more? Let's do one more.
One more, guys.
Oh, this one's crazy.
This
Put
one's-
the thing on. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but you got to scroll up a little bit so they can read the gate discovered in Antarctica. Okay, go back in. Look at
The
this.
gate in Antarctica.
Inside the gate.
Look at it.
Stays black for a couple of seconds.
And then.
Look at that.
There you go.
It's like a Disney ride.
Wow. Look at that. It reminds me of the movie King Kong when they go to their thing and
Yeah.
beautiful.
And look at that thing over there.
Yeah, look at that.
What's happening right there?
Wow. Look at the water. It's not even. It looks like everything
Okay,
looks
that's
spinning.
good.
Reverse polarity thing.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's go back. Did we stop share?
All right.
That's crazy. Like, I don't even know what do you think about that? I mean, there's always a chance. I know, like, it could be,
The last one through Antarctica was crazy. And when you come out when they came out the back, it looked like weird. So,
a movie.
yeah, it could be. Who
Yeah.
knows what if they did that? But it does remind me, if you ever seen the King Kong movie when they fly through with the one with Samuel L. Jackson,
Yeah.
and they fly through the clouds, and then all of a sudden they come out, and it's just beautiful. But everything there is big. King Kong is huge. He's a big silverback, right? He's huge, and everything in it. That's what that reminded me of. It's just you go through and you just go into like nirvana.
Yeah, and not for nothing, but there's so much controversy and secrecy and everything else about Antarctica. We have heard everything from an ice wall, and on the other side, there are actually other continents and things like that. We've heard about these pyramids and all of this that's underground, this ancient technology that's supposed to be there that they never let. I mean, you think about all the countries of the world, and nobody's really staked their claim in all this time. I mean, there are people that have. What city was that first news clip from? I don't know. It didn't state it on there, but I'm not sure, Phil, which city that was. We'll go back when we go back because we have a couple more clips to show.
We'll go back.
We'll scroll up real quick and just see if they say anything, or maybe on the bottom it'll have.
But yeah, Zach, wasn't that a wild couple of videos? I mean, just seeing some of that stuff.
Yeah.
The one that light that kept getting closer.
What was that? That was
In
in
the
St.
ocean?
Augustine, Florida. I mean,
Yeah, and then when you imagine being up 30,000 feet in a plane and looking down and seeing them flying like a fleet.
I know, that's crazy. And, not for nothing, but I know when I've meditated and have visions, I'm sure a lot of people that would watch our stuff, when they do, you see stuff under the water. Like there's something going on down there. And I know we've had people in the Truther community and Disclosure that have talked about that before, but there's like literally a whole nother world down there. And going into, I wrote about it in my book, but like going into these caves that look like, no, we didn't kick Emma off, Tyler. She's just, she's decided to take a step back.
Tyler,
right now.
tough love. Sometimes you got to kick a little ass, buddy. You know that.
Oh,
you know that better than anybody.
I'm hoping that she's going to just take, a short time, see how her schedule pans out, and then we'll have her back because we miss her.
We do.
And let's face it, not only is she smart, but she is our eye candy.
Yeah, she's beauty.
That kid's cute. I'm not just saying that because I'm her mom. Like, I'm serious. She's cute.
You know what? You look like her. Or she looks like you.
Thanks.
How crazy is that?
Tough love. Yeah. But anyway, so that was crazy. Should we show another one? Let's look and see for Phil too what that. I don't know what that news channel was, but we need to see. Let's see. We'll scroll up real quick before we show you the next one. Okay, go back up. I think it was the very first one. That was it. Okay, can you see Fox 5 wake up? No, it doesn't say what city that was.
Mm-mm. Swamp gas, weather balloon was trapped. Thermal
Oh, I'm
pocket
sure
of
that's
electric-
exactly what it
Yeah,
was.
they had to go. This was like a real deep reason why.
Can they
That's
see? You're sharing screen, right?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, scroll down to the next one. We've got a couple more to show you after that one. Okay, this one. You have the sound on?
What the fuck? Tata!
Oh.
Tata! Tara, sнимай. Моля sa телефон. Моля sa телефон.
Де?
Eno ga. What the fuck, nestalo?
Nešto?
Eno ga, eto.
So that one reminds me of one of the things we're going to be showing on Sacred Sites with Katie Mabry
Oh yes.
on Sunday. We've got something to show you. I have still shots, but I also have a video. So
Which and that's something that
that's going to be something to show you.
we saw. When we looked, we saw like the where it was, right?
Yeah, beforehand. Okay, let's scroll down and see. Let's look at another one.
The House Committee Oversight. Okay, UPAs and IPOs.
Okay, put the.
It's in the camera. Wow, look, they are.
Look at that. Maybe put this one down.
I want to see that again. Wild. I get my Italian brethren. Oh, really?
So yeah. Oh, that one.
That reminds me of that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at this one. Put the sound on.
States that he was going through his feed when he found this weird thing that he couldn't explain. He has verified that this hasn't been doctored. It's not altered. He hasn't messed with the film at all. This is literally what he captured on his home security camera. And what appears to be this bright orb.
One sec, guys, sorry. But yeah, she had to stand like that with her hands glued to her hips because how crazy the situation was. That's why she's standing like that. Not that she's a lunatic.
Or portal that opened up, and even as you watch it starts messing with the static electricity of the camera and you can hear it. But the question still remains, what is this thing? He did confirm after about 30 or so minutes it disappeared on is own, and he hasn't seen it again. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Look at that. What is that? That is wild. All right.
Oh wait, it's not. No, I think it dissipates completely. Did it pause?
No, it's
Okay.
gone. Look, it's got brighter, and then it. Oof.
Can you imagine, like you're looking at your camera feed and you see that thing? Wow.
Portal for 50, Jim.
Okay, so let's.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if
The following videos from a home.
I don't remember what that one is. Oh, we gotta put the sound on it.
I don't know if that's one.
In some futuristic scenarios, scientists could leverage some kind of technology that is able to suck, supposedly, the soul out of these people, and they're putting them in like these other containers. In some futuristic scenarios, scientists could leverage the third state beyond life and death. This is a third state of existence as a means to preserve consciousness beyond death. Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 18, and it says, "And say, thus says the Lord, woe to the women who sew magic bands upon all wrists and make veils for the heads of persons of every stature in the hunt for souls. Will you hunt down souls belonging to my people and keep your own souls alive?" What the heck does that mean? but that sounds like somebody making magical technology, alchemical things to hunt for souls. Huh? Some kind of
I paused that
technology
one, or-
that is able to
yeah. No, it's just stop sharing.
suck.
Okay. You still got the sound on. 1 second. You- Okay. We got it. We got it. Is that crazy? Okay, let's see.
Good video. Lisa found those. Those are good.
Okay.
Jennifer's on. Jennifer Howley.
Oh, Jennifer EB. That's
EB.
another childhood friend of mine. Hi, Jen. Can scroll up a little bit so I can see the feed a little bit. Okay, that was Tyler.
Oh wow, you really read her dark orbs.
Our trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, that red one, that red plasma one.
Yeah. The one we saw, well, I don't know if that's what I'll show you guys on the thing, but
Yeah,
the thing we saw was like white.
Yeah.
So, and then Phil is saying, I saw a huge craft slam into the ocean off the coast of Central Valley, California. Wow.
wow.
I was guiding a horseback ride in the mountains overlooking the water. The lady behind me saw it too. Wow. That's incredible.
Wild. I wonder where they. I wonder if that thing goes underwater though. Like it starts going underwater where it's got to go.
Yeah, well,
Not to
they
get
can
detected.
travel under there, but not only that, but there's, I really think that there's, you remember in my book when I was talking about seeing those, I started to say that it was like these caves and there's, you know, water, but when you get in and you go to a certain place in there, it just kind of stops and it doesn't like flow through there like you would think if you had something like that where it would just kind of stay level in there or whatever. It's actually kind of dry and there's this like wall of water and you pass through that. And I was talking to people that lived in there when I went there, and they were saying that it's something to do with like the configuration of it and like pressure and all of this stuff, and that these things were like all over the world, that they have these things. So hi, Deborah. When you go over it, I can't see it. Yeah. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you. And then hi, welcome healing. What?
Your pendant.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing it. Yeah.
Deborah likes it.
Yeah, that I love it. I live in this, right? I mean, I take it off when I take a shower, but I sleep in it.
Yeah, she always has it on.
Everything. I keep it on all the time. So sometimes I'll put 2 or 3 necklaces on depending what we're doing. But this one stays on at this point. This is my amulet.
Yeah,
so,
that's her. Yeah, that's her thing. She looked up all the items that comprise that piece, and she got her what do you got? Amulet.
Amulet. Yeah, an amulet.
And welcome healing. Welcome. So yeah, I think we're going to start seeing some more and more of those videos, and like they are being showed. I mean, this is on X, but you can see it being, you know, their news outlets are starting to show them.
Yeah.
And I think Trump said that they're going to do some declassifications.
Yeah. And you know, I think of course we're going to have to use our discernment during this time because, you know, there's obviously with CGI and technology and things like that, we're going to see a lot of things that are not, you know, true, but there's going to be a lot of things that are coming out that are true. And I think we're going to be able to do that. Like, I feel like everybody's kind of stepping up their game with, you know, discernment and using your own intuition and things like that. We're going forward. We're going to need it just because of the technology and everything. But I think these things are going to be becoming more prevalent. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think this is just the start really of, I mean, it's always been around, but I think it's going to really ramp up now.
Yeah. And I think that I think it's smart to get disclosure out there if there are any of the good guys out there, because you know what, you never want them to use some type of fake ET attack, and there've been there's no exposure.
Yeah.
And so people take it, you know, they just get hand fed BS continuously, where if it's like, look at all these sightings, look at all these things that happen, never once a problem.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they're coming at us. So, and then Phil was saying that the thing he saw going to the ocean, look at it. The thing it's a splash blocked out the sunset. That's how big it was.
Wow, Phil, that must have been incredible. Did you get like nervous when you saw that, or were you just kind of in awe? Like, what was your reaction to that? I'd be really interested to hear about that. But he said he saw the craft before it even hit, so that's really interesting. But yeah, I think that's where we're kind of going now, you know. And then Deborah's saying that she's seeing more strange things occurring the last year or so.
Is
Yeah,
GB Great Britain or Green Bay?
Great Britain.
Oh,
Yeah, I think she's from Great Britain. Is that
Hi,
right,
Mike.
Deborah?
How you doing, Mike? I
Oh,
like that.
okay. You sound kind of Australian
Oh.
or even maybe Southern. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a good accent person, but I will try for you.
You know what? He has his own accent, right? So I tell him all the time, I'm like, just do your Brooklynese and let's leave it at that. Because he'll try to do
Yeah, different ones.
and Gigi can do souls.
Yeah. She especially if she hears us.
So Rita and Teria, she's all, you know, an Aussie, and Gigi could do her. Our daughter could do her like really, really good. So yeah, she's not Australian. Devon, UK. See, yeah, Great Britain. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I wonder what time it is there. It's probably late. Thank you for being with us, Deborah. That's really cool.
What are you seeing out there? You're seeing anything? Are you seeing similar things out there, Deborah? Or how is it over there on the other side of the pond?
No, you're not going to do accents, remember? He's going to keep doing it. Yeah, definitely picking up. I agree with you. But we see stuff a lot over here in Nevada. You know, like my whole life, we've kind of seen stuff and always chalked it up to Area 51. And I have said this before, but you know, when I was a kid, the adults in our life would just tell us, oh, you know, our government, they're trying to develop this or develop that. And you stop looking up. You're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Strange peeps walking around.
Yeah. And you know what, too, with that, Deborah, strange people walking around. I agree with you with that. And sometimes you start getting like
the Truman Show types.
Yeah, like the non-player character.
Yeah, NPCs. Yeah, the Truman Show with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It was all like they were watching, everything was a stage. You didn't realize it.
Yeah, it's interesting. But you also see people that you're thinking are probably, Phil can probably attest to this too, being that we were just in Sedona around the same time and stuff. But sometimes you get a feeling about some of the people you're walking by that you're thinking that they may not necessarily be totally human. That was interesting. And
that could be unnerving too, because they probably look a little odd and not sure.
Just a little bit off. And I was talking with Katie Mabry and Lily about that when I was there. We were like eating breakfast and hanging out and stuff. In that little area we were at, we were like, I'm thinking that there might be a few people. Yeah, well, lizards too, but over there, even other humanoid looking type people are just a little different.
Like a hybrid?
Or yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Or shapeshifting into us, you know, just being
not necessarily negative, you know, like some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them probably, but some of them, I don't know, maybe their eyes are just a little too big, maybe they're just a little different.
Welcome healing. I think so. Phil does a lot of he's a guide in some of the you know, the really cool places to go visit, and I don't know if he wants it out there, but anyway, he does all that stuff. So I mean, probably walking through, you know, some of those the mountain ranges and forests and getting on the backside of one of those mountains. Who knows? He probably has some wild energy stories or sightings or something. So yeah, Phil's probably loaded with some good stuff.
Yeah, well, he definitely has a lot of really cool stories when it comes to like Sasquatch and things like that, and also like just tuning into the planet and the earth. Katie Mabry from our Sacred Sites spent a lot of time with them, and then you know, she was telling me some stories that were really cool. Yeah. Oh gosh, Deborah, we would love to come over there. Mm-hmm. And we were talking to Craig Walker. Yeah, he's in
there now, right?
No, he's always been there. I don't know why you keep thinking of Scottish.
He reminds me of what's the guy's name? Braveheart.
Yeah, he's British, but anyway.
But yeah, Scottish, British, from Ireland, it's all the same thing. They're all like they're closely, in proximity. Like New York, Jersey, it's very close. You know, it's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. They're totally different countries. But anyway.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're all good people. I don't know why you're making that. They're all good. They're human.
Okay.
They're human
anyway, we were talking to him about, because he posts stuff all the time. I don't know if you follow him. He's got a podcast with Dr. Charnel Wolverton Sehan on Truth TV, and he's a co-host on a lot of her stuff. And he posts a lot of stuff on Facebook, mm-hmm. and some of that stuff is beautiful. Like I told him, I'm like, we need to have a retreat there, and
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see that Phil's saying, yes, me, Lily, and Katie were in a shop. And when we left, I said the older guy was not human. And Lily had the exact same thought in Sedona. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. It's like you can see, some of his stuff. Yeah. I'll go when, Deborah, I'll send you a link to his stuff when I get off, when we go to, let me write myself a note.
What's what?
We go to Facebook.
So
When we're done.
look what I never heard of that. Actually, the Jurassic Coastline. But I'm ex with that Covent Garden lady.
Wow. I will have to look into that too, because I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
So that's
interesting,
so Deborah. Right.
Phil said I've forgotten more stories than I can remember.
That's where I'm at too, because you have these.
You got to stop hitting the bottle, Phil.
Lily always tells me to I should journal it, and I don't. And then I have all these incredible things, and then they start to kind of blend in, and then you lose them because the next thing's kind of incredible, and you're thinking to yourself like, crap, I don't even remember what that was. But
Deborah said she'll message DM tomorrow.
Yeah, that's good. Anyway, but so we have one more that I think was up. Oh, you know what I wanted to touch on though? That thing about the consciousness and being kind of put into other, the last video that we just watched. Did you? And they were talking about how Ezekiel was talking about like that was a. I just found that interesting because people talk about that all the time about being able to move you into. Move your consciousness into some other.
So that reminds me of the Skeleton Key movie.
Yes.
I know everything reminds me of a movie.
Yeah. Did you? I don't know. Did you guys see that one, the Skeleton Key?
Do you ever see the Skeleton Key? It's like in New Orleans, Louisiana, and they do that magic, and they trap, like as they get older, they trap a young soul in their body so they can be, and it's like the young person is just like trying to call out for help for this old feeble body. Now I hate that. That was scary.
Yeah, that movie was kind of crazy, but it also goes back to like, remember when the boys at Journey to Truth did that whole series, that whole big thing on, it wasn't a series, but I can't think. Yeah, on cloning. And they were showing like the people that were talking about it and everything in the movie industry and the music industry and everything, like, and you think back at, remember when they were talking about if you were, I don't know, like 80s kids, I guess we're 70s, 80s kids, but when they were talking about that sheep Dolly, remember when they cloned that first sheep Dolly and they were making a big deal of it, and then all of a sudden they just kind of stopped and they didn't really talk about that anymore. And back then I don't know, I didn't really think about it, but
I didn't even give it a second thought.
Right, but you're thinking, you know what? Of course they're going to keep doing that. Like they're going to get the technology and do it. All of a sudden they get hushed. That should be putting up all the red flags for us. But we're just accepting of, oh, okay, I guess we stopped trying to do that.
It's the same thing with that. And then when they did a great job on that because that was some deep dive.
The Journey to Truth guys, yeah.
Tyler and Aaron, they did a really great job with that because I didn't realize how far back it went and how I just overlooked it. But it reminded me of when they said that the government sometimes can control the weather, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds crazy. And they were like, they've been doing it since how long ago? Like they did it to with the water in Vietnam, like to do something during the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And then China, when they were having the Olympics, they didn't want to make it rain. I mean, I didn't really think.
I know.
It was like, holy shit.
Look at this real quick. I want to show you this one. This was Welcome Healing. She said she can only imagine when I was out in California in 2019 to 22, hiking in the mountains, I run into some crazy energy in the middle of nowhere around Half Moon Bay, also Golden Lake, northwest of Tahoe. Yeah, that's the thing is when you start tapping into the energies and stuff that are around there, you can clearly feel that there is something more present, something more going on. Like, that, there's something there, especially now. Like, I feel like I'm so tapped in now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure most of us are, where you're there and you're kind of like, okay, there's definitely something that's, I mean, we're out here walking the dogs and literally clearing like the neighborhood while we're walking, right?
Yeah, this neighborhood is very different than where we
were living. Yeah, we're clearing all the time, and and gritting and all of that stuff. But
I mean,
remember,
the dogs feel it.
talk about when you do that with the dogs. That one.
Yeah, I wound up one of the my big dog needed a walk, and it was like 2:33 in the morning, and there was literally nobody out.
You woke him up.
Yeah, he
go
woke
out.
me up to go out, and it was just me and him. And we were walking, but as we were walking, I mean, I felt it. You just feel like something may happen to you. But he was like walking around on full alert, like ears up, breathing heavy, sometimes crying, like having that cry a little bit, like, you know, and, but like stopping and looking and like real. I mean, I couldn't
Agitated, like, or anxious.
Yeah, like someone was like right around him, like maybe taunting him, or like I think we both felt that like something could happen. That's just how it felt. It didn't feel good either. It didn't feel like it was a good happen. It felt like something happened. It would have been not great.
Yeah, and you know, like for us when we came, it was kind of like we had to pull up because everything was packed up and everything. We had to like pull out the crystals and do. The last house we were in, we were over there for 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like every day of me clearing and, you know, not just the house, but then clearing, you know, my neighborhood and then clearing it out into the whole, it was a golf course community and like the whole thing and everything. It had a really nice energy, right?
Yeah,
And that many years of like building that up. So when we came here, it was kind of like,
well, me and Emma drove by the other day. When
Yeah.
we came back from as soon as we drove, I was like, I missed this area. And she's like, can you feel it?
Yeah.
And I was like, doesn't it feel lighter?
Yeah.
It just feels lighter.
So we're working on it now because we're going to be over here for a couple of years because our daughter got into a school over here. So
Deborah said her father in the 60s, 70s music and TV industry is awesome. He photographed most of them in 1937.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably some wild pictures back then. What a piece of like.
Yeah. Weather manipulation goes
Back to WW2.
Yeah. World War II. Yeah. Yeah. I think that people are going to start realizing now, because, you know, if you post about that kind of stuff on, you know, Facebook or social media or whatever, you always have that group that's kind of like, it's, you know, that's not what it is. You're looking at condensation. It's not, you know, and give me a break. It's like, 1937 is the weather manipulation date. Okay. Yeah. We missed, you know, some of that, but anyway, I don't know. I know our dog, he's very in tune, and the little one gets like that sometimes when because I will walk the smaller one with him, not when it's 2:00 in the morning, but you know, regular at night or whatever before we go to bed. And there's times that they're both kind of like that, and I am just like pushing out light, clearing, pushing out light, clearing while we're going through there.
And I have 16 weapons on me. Running allowed. I have the baton, the knife.
And I tell him all the time, like, don't do that because you're calling it in, but he doesn't listen. So
better have it and not need it than need it, not have it. But I don't want to call it in. I like peace and joy and love.
Is that what you like?
Yes, I'm one of those.
You're one of those peace guys? Okay. Anyway, so let's show the last one. I can't remember what that one is anymore. That we have like this other one. And then we've got some clips from some of the financial stuff that we were talking about, that some of the changes that are going to be going on. So that's interesting too. So we already saw that one, this one. Okay, hit the
Ancient Aliens many times. It's fun, but I will just say that people love to talk about Ancient Aliens. I've been on the show Ancient Aliens many times. It's fun, but I will just say that we really seriously need to give the whole concept of Ancient Aliens a very hard look. And I'm not saying that there is no significant ancient observation. I think that there has been. I have gone through many, really all of the ancient reports that I'm aware that exist. Most of them I think you can discard. Now, it's true, we have lost 99% of all of our ancient literature. It's all gone.
Wow.
Most of it's gone. And so that's a big caveat. But when I look at the sightings that we do have that have come down to us, almost none of them really, practically none describe anything that you would call a craft. Some of them are very interesting light phenomena that move in ways that are not explainable. And I do take those seriously. But a lot of them are just religious, paranormal. I mean, put in for a religious purpose, social purpose, political messaging. You read these carefully, you can really see that. I mean, I've been trying to find these early cases, and they're not. There's either nothing there, or they're just not or there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So I think
It seems to be there's a little bit of poor mental discipline in the association being made, right, between this ancient and modern contact. You've asked the question many times,
they're
who
making
is
the wrong
this
connection.
they? You know.
And we need to understand this, because look, if we want to understand what we're dealing with, one thing we have to get straight is, when have they started coming here, at least in significant numbers? Because that makes a big difference in how we might interpret their motivations. If they've been here for a couple of thousand years, we might think, okay, maybe they're not here to harm us. If they just arrived, well, we don't really know, do we?
Right.
So what I see is a massive uptick in sightings during the 18th century, 19th century, and then the major one is World War II.
See, just really quick, we're going back to the World War II thing, and we're going to talk about this, but I just want to say that, so here it says, should we be associating the ancient alien thing with the modern day stuff? So let's just finish up this.
There's no way to get around that fact. World War II is when it all explodes.
Right.
There are some pretty good sightings prior. I found them. There's some good ones. But in terms of quantity, it's not even close.
Okay, let's do this. Stop sharing. So what do you think about that? Like, in terms of talking about, comparing what the ancient aliens whole story is. I mean, if you watch that Paul Wallace, he's got The Fifth Kind, and he's got, some other stuff. He pairs up sometimes with Matt LaCroix, and they've talked about some of the ancient stuff with aliens. Are we talking about the same people, and is what is happening now, or can we make a blanket statement that, this is just ongoing and this has been, or are we moving into a whole new era and a whole new thing where it's going to look different and sound different, and maybe the beings we were dealing with before are not, the same ones that we're necessarily dealing with right now?
But yeah, well, I think everything's going to look different, because also, I mean, they are still, depending on really how advanced they would really be, how much they have to want to be seen for us to see them.
Definitely.
Obviously, because I mean, this is a huge universe, galaxy, right? It goes on forever. It would be crazy to think that we are the only life form in this whole thing. That would be a little nutty to think. So all this time, we didn't see anything. A totally a planet that is that you can there's habitat on, whether from animals to humans, pretty complex. And so no matter what their technology is, which is advanced, we have technology too. They know we'll drop nuclear. Look what we did in World War II, right? So we can destroy some of our resources. So when you look at what they're doing, I don't think it's going to look nowhere near the same as it would have back then. Yeah, I think it's going to look very different.
Well, and I think we're kind of, as our consciousness and everything is moving into a different place. I mean, I don't necessarily lump the leaders of the world in with, humanity in the same way, but I think that we've definitely come to a place where nuclear and things like that just don't make a lot of sense for us, and we're not really. Most people are not those kind of, war hawks kind of mentality. We do have leaders that are definitely that way, but you hear a lot of stories too where people are talking about, a lot of the nuclear stuff wouldn't happen because they wouldn't allow it to, these beings that are coming from other places, because it kind of rips a hole into, other dimensions or this one, and quantumly affects more than just here. And so they wouldn't allow for something like that. And I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I hope it is, because, you would hope that if there are people that can kind of see in front a little bit better than we can, they would kind of go, yeah, you guys aren't playing with those toys. You're not equipped, and we're not doing it.
Yeah. And to, what Deborah's saying, I'm going to do some more research into that, because I think it's interesting history. But
read it so people.
When you look, she's saying, this is why many from World War II, World War I and II, never spoke about what they really saw, because when they did, they were sent to institutions, made to feel crazy when about their stories, and it's important for the history, for the story, for people to know what happened. So, it's really, and it is, for some reason, I always look at it, why would why is one narrative being pushed and just what happened, you
Yeah.
know? And so when you look at that, it says, when the bomb dropped,
Yeah.
they said that, there was letters from our generals,
Yeah.
General Patton, said they're working on the surrender.
Yeah.
And they said, well, the other thing, no, we want to break them.
And Zach was making a point too. He was saying, which you've said before too, is that a lot of this stuff that's our ancient literature is locked under, the Vatican. And then he made another really good point that, if he said, well, we invented nuclear bombing during World War II, so it makes sense they started showing up, more to save us. And that's exactly right. And it makes sense. So yeah, I think you're onto something. And, thank goodness, right? Because some of these leaders that we have are like ridiculous with
and let's look at let's just go kind of on a different path here. Is when you look at our soul families, when you look at galactic families, when you look at especially, let's just say the soul family, when these people that come into your life, and as soon as they come into your life, they're like a sister or a brother to you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know why. Or why do you have the kids that you have, or the parents that you have, or cousins, and you realize that, wow, there's a soul family that has been with me through how many different lifetimes. And so if they truly have the love for us like a family member would, or even something more that we can't even conceive yet of how much they love us, or whatever it may be, of course, it would make sense with like what Zach's saying. I can that resonates with me, because you want the best for your family, the people you love, and you don't want them to destroy each other, destroy where they live. You don't.
And the resources that are here, this planet. This is a beautiful planet. I mean, this planet is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that there are other planets that are, as well. They're all different and everything. But we're probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I'm sure that there's a lot that that are out there that's impressive and stuff. I don't know. I've seen several, just in my meditations and visions and stuff, and I don't feel like they compare. And we have a lot of I don't care if you're looking at ocean and cliffside stuff, if you're looking at some of the places that are like meadows and mountainous places where lakes are,
Mm-hmm.
and rivers, and there's pick a continent. I mean, everything. There's so many beautiful places.
Look at or how beautiful it is, Inner Earth, where Joanna with the artwork.
Partienska, yeah. So we had and I don't know if it was all Inner. I don't know.
I don't think it was all Inner Earth.
Yeah,
she was beautiful.
Yeah, she draws art, and we have a show with her, Joanna Partienska, and she's on Instagram as well, and Facebook. But she's got some beautiful art, and she said definitively, this is a place. Like, this is an actual place. So it's absolutely stunning. It looks like the kind of things that are right out of, a fairy tale. I mean, it's gorgeous,
beautiful, beautiful. And she goes there. That's what is amazing.
Yeah.
And as she goes there, she'll meditate and go there, and she'll actually do this original piece of artwork. And
she's doing it while she's painting.
Yeah,
like she gets in this meditative state while she's painting, and she does it. It's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, you
colors,
should see
the portal looking thing.
Yeah,
I mean, just really beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that as we're kind of going through this new phase, when we're doing this, just holding the light and using our discernment and realizing that we're moving into a new phase where our consciousness is developing in new ways, and we're kind of going into and being an Aquarius now, the way that we are. It's going to be really interesting to see kind of the changes in how things go. That the heaviness that was here before should be lifted a little bit, and there should be more allowance for creativity and coming into doing things and using your imagination to create. Because we talked about that before, but and I spoke about it a little bit in my book, but imagination when you become an adult kind of felt like, in some terms, like a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
And it really is our superpower, right? Because you have to create it to see it. And as Marina Jacobi says, it's not, I'll believe it when I see it. It's like you have to create it to see it. So, imagining how things can be in society and what we're doing, which when we're talking about crypto, and we're talking about having gold and silver and changing kind of the dynamic of the financial system.
Yeah.
And having this be like a different way that we can create intentional societies where we kind of create these smaller, instead of having this top down approach or this big government and they're kind of telling us how things are, we can have like neighborhoods and towns and those kind of things that run the way the people that live there want it to.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it called? Where do we live in Long Island? What they call the little places?
Hamlet.
Hamlets. That's what it reminds me of. Like what it is. Like you'll have your little hamlet, and you run it. You run it in the best way because you have better soil at this place, or different types of shopping, whatever it may be. You know.
Yeah.
And you run it in that way, so it's everyone there can really everyone can be successful working together for a common goal. And if anybody, and once that you're doing well, if your neighbor needs help in a neighboring hamlet, you know, then you help each other out and you start to build.
Yeah. I hope I know that that's the way we're going. I know that that's kind of what we're going to be looking at to do. I believe that especially the people like, Deborah was talking about this soul tribe, kind of, making these connections and speaking about these conversations and stuff, but that's exactly how we do that too. Is by kind of joining together in a common goal to create these intentional places.
Yeah. And for me, you know me, I love teams. I like but I love playing on a team.
Ex-football player over here.
Yeah, so I love being on a team, and you look out for the other guy, and you take the hit for your friend, and that whole thing, and and I look at, I always think like if 5 years ago with this whole conversation, I wouldn't have been sitting here. I would have been like this, me. No one would have wanted me in this conversation.
Oh,
but I look now and I go, living in that tenseness, and buying into all the just the density and the low vibe and everything, and not realizing, just kind of how you're co-creating your life, having these things happen to you, just thinking, wow, this time it really sucks, and you feel like you have no choice in it.
Yeah,
you're just stuck. And I look now and I go, what a nice way to be, a lightness of the way we are now. And when you, again, like Deborah was saying it too, Soul Tribe, when you just you especially when we go to the conference with it's like you're almost like you're a family, like you haven't seen them in a while and you're having a reunion, and everybody is just like vibing together. The energy is just, it's an amazing energy. It just as soothing. It's like comfortable. It's you've never been, you've only been there once before, but it feels familiar. It's just like that whole thing. It's such a nice way to move through, through everything. So I'm really interested to see where we go, where we go now. So, know what we should do? Play the gym.
Well, there's several of them. Do you want to?
We'll grab them, whatever we have time for. We'll go.
Okay, so we're going to show a clip from
Patriot Underground.
Yeah, the Patriot Underground, and
good, really, really good.
I lost my.
Guy. Oh, this is what she does on camera.
Okay, go ahead and share. So this is Patriot Underground. He's on Rumble. You can find I'll post his the link to his show after this, but listen to this. This is Jim Willie. We love him.
Change my words. The Rockefeller Group is going to do their best to hasten the demise of Donald Trump.
Well, and I don't think that should be considered incendiary given what we've already seen happen.
I'm identifying it with the Rockefellers. We've never had that before. We've seen death events, near-death events.
Oh, well, I always attributed that to, I guess that's a whole separate subject, but you would think that it would be the top cabal players who would be pulling those strings, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. And here's why. Medicare and Medicaid are $1.3 trillion in the government budget, and they're going to have this Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE.
Yep.
And are they going to cut Medicare, Medicaid? Okay, there's going to be a threat there. There's going to be a threat. And Big Pharma, are they going to be prosecuted? Are their executives going to be prosecuted in class action lawsuits? Are they going to try to sack the Pfizer stock? So Big Pharma and medicine, AMA, they're going to be in the crosshairs, and they're going to fight back. And I think they're going to work toward hastening the demise of Donald Trump. Okay, second group, the military contractors. And they're going to be closely working in league with the NATO narcos. Let's be very plain. NATO is going to receive and has been receiving a lot of independent funding from narco trafficking. Okay. Now, the military contractors, they have $850 billion in their military budget. Will Trump look to reduce that for the government efficiency programs? I think they will. And Trump has said, I'm the peace president. Well, there's a risk that he's going to be moving the war from Ukraine over to the Middle East and attack Iran, which, if we stop attacking Iran and stop undermining Iran, maybe Iran will stop funding Houthis and Iran will stop with their attempted assassination with sleeper cells or whatever the heck they're using. So if Trump follows through in peace initiatives, the military complex is going to want to support in any way possible the early demise of Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, his whole agenda is antithetical to all of their interests, all of their
absolutely
big pharma to big tech to the military industrial. Absolutely.
They're the third group. It's largely often called big tech, but I call it big tech and information and news. The news networks controlled by Langley. The social networks, well, they were controlled by Langley, and now they're less controlled by Langley. You have the search engines, and you have fact checkers. And Donald Trump has already made a statement that the FBI, Department of Justice, NSA, and any other group that is responsible for censorship for search engines and information flow, they're going to be fired. Well, they're going to fight back. And the common denominator among those four groups is Langley. And I believe Langley will be working toward hastening the death of Donald Trump.
Okay. So we got to go to, if we're going to do the next one, which we won't yet,
34,
but
26.
no, it's too far.
Just stay right there. And
Okay.
Just go ahead 10 seconds.
Well, I'm going to stop sharing. So, okay.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. I don't know. But he makes good points. I don't necessarily agree with everything he's saying, but I love him. I love his bluntness too. Deborah, like we started watching him, a few years ago. Oh, he was on with JC over at Beyond Mystic, and then we were seeing him with David Nino Rodriguez, and I always want to say Rodriguez now because of Tony Rodriguez. But anyway, it's interesting. It's interesting to think about some of the things that they're going to be wanting to kind of go into and change, but knowing that we have this element in our government.
The government that has been doing that, but also what I do totally agree with is they've been in power for so long, they are not gonna just let go. They're gonna put up a fight, and so we're gonna have to make sure you have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, because we're gonna, and I think we've really all been feeling it. But that being said, if you can stay, on a positive coordinate or a positive timeline and keep co-creating your timeline in the right way. I just feel like I'm watching from a stadium, and the people who are going through all the real chaotic hard times and the ones who are really feeling it, I feel like I'm watching from a stadium almost, because I don't feel like I'm in that. I feel like I feel it. I feel it's going on, and it is, it's really kind of a tough time, but some people are really
and I think first of all, I want to say hi to Jake Ray. We have a show with Jake Ray where we did we talk about hypnosis and stuff. So hi Jake, thank you for joining us. And I think you're right, Zach. I think they're going to try, right? We know that they're going to try, but we're also coming from a place where we're all in a different frequency, energy about all of it. And I don't think that they catch our attention the same way. You know, when they say that saying, where your attention goes, your energy flows and stuff. And we really moved on. Don't you feel like that? Like largely we've kind of all come to a place where we're not worried about kind of what they're doing anymore or how they're doing it. We're kind of looking beyond it. You know, we're over here. They're doing all kinds of stuff, and somebody's got to put out the fires and all of that. And I'm happy that we've got a government in place that's kind of going, we're going to relook at everything. And, you know, if there's something that's wasteful or something that we don't need to be doing, we're going to stop doing it. I'm happy about all of that. I think it's definitely necessary. But at the same time, we as a conscious community and, you know, as humanity, I feel like we're all looking beyond it already. We're moving into what's next, how we create, how we build, how we form these communities together, and that look like Deborah's on the other side of, you know, the ocean. And, you know, we've got people from all over, you know, the United States and other places, and we're all here sitting here talking together and talking about this. It's a community, whether we're right next to each other or not. So I'm really excited. I feel positive about where we're going.
And I really feel grateful and blessed that we are part of a community like we are.
Yeah.
And really have met some just wonderful people that it's, you know, an honor to actually call friends, because I don't call people my friend lightly. And so to have this community like this is amazing to have behind you, especially when some days if you're feeling a little, you know, negative. It's very hard if you go on to something. You're always getting a good affirmation or quote, and or she'll give me a good kick in the ass. But either way, you know, I gotta stay. You stay positive on the right timeline and move through it. So, yeah, no, and Jim says things, really does. He says things straight out.
I love that.
But and he makes me laugh. But I think there's some of the things. Some of his points are actually really. They're smart. They are. They're
definitely.
Smart.
And, you know, you have to have that side too, right? Because we have to be looking at it from another place. You can't be all love and light and stuff. I would love that if that's where we were, but we're not. We're not there yet, because we have a lot of people that we're you're shaking the thing.
Oops, sorry.
We're cohabitating with, and that's not where they are, right? So it's kind of like a bubble within the bubble. And we're not necessarily, you know, living in these terms, but we're witnessing it. We're here to kind of see what's kind of going on. So thank you for joining us, Deborah. Yeah, have a good night. We'll see you.
Goodbye.
Thanks for coming.
Sending love.
But anyway, so yeah, let's do the next one. We're off a little bit on the seconds, just a little bit. This one's a very short clip. It's like just over a minute, but same show. It was really interesting.
Going to be able to relatively
with the
nope.
The closing of the borders?
Full agenda.
I think so. There are going to be resistance levels. There are going to be some resistance. I think Arizona will not comply with the closing of the borders. Arizona is a hopeless state. They're run by the Sinaloa drug cartel of Mexico. Texaco is going to comply, and that is the main caravan river. That's the main one. There are many other agenda items.
Sure,
There's going to be reform of the news. There's going to be reform of the information. There's going to be attacks on, you know, all the different organizations. What were they? FBI, NSA, Department of Justice, Homeland. They're all going to be focused, and they're going to get fired. And we're going to hear about 10,000 firings. And there's going to be retribution. And there's going to be resistance. Okay. I'm saying, yes, he will hit the ground and make his agenda. And I'm saying, no, it will not be really, really smooth. He will succeed and overcome and knock down the barriers. Going to have.
Okay.
I think in
that one, babe.
Okay. So with that one, you know, what do you think about that? Like, I think he's right. I think that, you know, you're going to have these people that are in this system that have been in there for a really long time, and they're not gonna, you know, go away lightly. He's gonna try to go in and do some reforming and even getting rid of some of those, you know, agencies, they're saying. But what do you think about that? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I mean, I'm happy he swept everything as far as the Senate, the House, and he, maybe he can move some stuff in, and he can, some stuff will go smoothly. But when you're talking about on a level that type of level and cleaning up that type of mess, those are where some of the power, those are where the power players are. So yeah, it's not going to be. It's going to be, it's going to be jagged. It's not going to be some smooth, just some smooth running. Let's just get this done, and they're just going to roll over. So it's definitely going to be. It's going to get bumpy. But I think as far as having someone who is resilient, I don't think that there's any person who's shown more resilience.
Oh, definitely.
Than the president. Then I have never seen anybody go through what he went through this much, and just personally, and really just push through some. And there's some dangerous situations he's in.
Yeah, definitely. This one is a little bit longer. This next one we're going to play, so we'll stop kind of in the middle of it too, so we can kind of talk about it. So just hang in there. We're going to do one more clip from this show, and again, we will put the post if you guys want to watch this whole thing. This thing is full of really interesting, great information. It's not just the things that we picked out. There was a ton of stuff. I mean, we could have,
Yeah, Patriot Underground got another subscriber with me. I love watching the show.
Yeah, here we go.
What are they going to do? Reindustrialize in 6 months?
Are you stupid?
Are you kidding me? Are you stupid? The dollar went up on expectations that the U.S. government debt was going to get resolved in the next 6 to 8 months. Are you kidding me? Are you stupid? Okay. The reasons the dollar went up beyond Trump victory are all based in impractical exhibits of reality that doesn't exist.
No, we definitely saw a stock market spike. Do you think that had something to do with
it? The dollar went up. Everything financial went up.
Right.
Gold and silver went down. Okay. There's going to be a hangover. The demand for silver and gold did not go down. The industrial shortage for silver did not reduce.
1%, yep.
There is inelastic supply for silver. Let me explain that. Normally, when you increase the price of silver, you get more mining output. We don't have that. A year ago and 2 years ago, we were like at $22 silver, and a year ago we were at $26 silver, $25 silver. The output is going down, even though the price is going up. That's called inelastic supply, and it is a paradox. But what it speaks loudly to is that we got a limited amount of mineable silver remaining on the planet.
Okay, so talk to us about that a little bit. Like you have, worked in that industry and everything, and we have silver disclosure on that. But so talk to us a little bit about.
Yeah. So when you look at gold and silver are basically, and especially gold, that's what it's known for. But gold and silver follows gold as well. But they're hedges against inflation, right? So inflation is the dollar weakening, right? So it's the same or more dollars in the system with the same or less product, right? That's going to cause inflation. And so, what's happening is what he's saying is, as the dollar got stronger, and it wasn't realistic, because if we're printing so many dollars and you dilute any product, and you keep putting more out, right? The more supply, with the same or less demand, it's going to go down. It goes down in price because it's diluting. So that's where you see that when the dollar is getting weakened, gold. That's where gold went up. It was up at, I think, close to 2,800 at one point. I think it may have broke it. Now it pulled back. It pulled back into the 2,600s. But why would that have happened? Why would silver have pulled back in anything, in any market like this? It's so choppy. We know, besides Trump, winning and people being excited, and that's why you can see the dollar going up, and some sentiment that they're happy, and the market does run on emotion, but for the most part, and so you can see the uptick there. But anytime you see, interest rates going up and the market going up, that's an anomaly. That really don't happen.
And, I wanted to ask you too about that, because when it comes to silver, and, you were talking about like price suppression and stuff and how really it should be running neck and neck. Can you talk a little bit about, because we know that silver is now being used in technology and medicine and some of those things. And so it's really should be more evaluated with gold.
Yeah, so I mean, it has a ways to go. So when you look at the ratio when it's in the ground, it's right at about 7 or 8 to 1, $8 to 1, gold to silver. By the time it comes out, when you look at where we're selling it, it's I don't know what it's right around, say, approximately 77 to 1, 78 to 1. And so it really supposed to trade around, on the markets when they're solid, about 45 to 1. So gold isn't going to pull way back, not at this time. We're going to see it move. So if it just goes into its regular trading ratio of 45 to 1, silver should be up quite a bit higher. But yeah, silver, it seems that they're saying that, mining for silver is really not the thing, because they feel like they got all the silver that they could. And really, when they go mine for other stuff and they find silver, that's when they go, oh shit, we found silver. But other than that, they don't know. But when you look at like even the wars going on, ballistic missiles are tipped with 500 ounces of pure silver, right? Then the electric cars, solar, MRI machines, the medical field, all of it. And especially with the amount of
cell phones too, or something with cell phones?
There's silver in most everything.
Yeah.
Even the old school photographs, they used to be buckets of silver that used to come out. Some of the old timers used to grab that. But when you look at just the percentage of electric cars that they're saying they want on the road, we don't have enough silver for just that. Never mind everything else, because silver is a great conductor of electricity. And so it's really in demand. The supply is way down, so it should go through the roof. But when you have the big banks shorting it, right? They short it. So what they're doing is they're putting downward pressure on it. But what's crazy is as silver just went up, and they're shorting it, that's where you start to hear, and Jim starts to touch on it, that those banks, like a Bank of America, could be in trouble because they need silver to go down, because they're short so many contracts.
Yeah, let's watch the rest of that. Here, I'll let you do it because I don't want to screw up anything.
They've just been doing it for so long, and then they lease the contracts to another bank so they don't have to take the hit.
India and China have not reduced their demand. The industrial supply deficit is not reducing. We're going to see a big rebound in gold and silver very soon. And I call it the hangover. We're going to see more problems like with a debt auction for treasury bonds. We're going to see more dumping by the BRICS. They're getting a better price now. No, I'm not sure whether the bond market is going down. I know 10 days ago, the bond yield was still going up, and that meant pressure on the bond market principal. I haven't actually.
So what that is there's an inverse relationship between interest rate and price. So you have the price of your bond, and then you have your interest rate, right, that you get every year. So if you're say your bond is $100 bond and you're getting 5%, if it goes to 7%, your bond doesn't stay at 100. Your bond will go, say, to $97 instead of a $100 bond. It'll be a $97 bond, right? So when you look at the treasuries or you look at the bond market, why they were saying it was inverted, it got inverted, was because interest rates were so out of whack that the short-term rate was higher than the long-term rate. So usually the longer you go out, the higher the rate. And so that was inverted. But as interest rates went up, what people saw was their price of their bonds go down. So they're looking at their portfolio, and the interest rates are going up. So not only the stock market comes down, but the price of their bonds come down. Usually bonds are the conservative part of their portfolio.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to kind of keep it stable. That's like the stable part of it. But the interest rates went up sharply. So when they went up, the price of the bonds go down in the same thing, because you get the same output from a bond, right? So it has to go down. It goes down like the same amount, right? And so all of a sudden they're going, all right, so I have 100,000 in bonds, interest rates go up. And so now my bonds are worth, 60,000, and people are freaking out because they took a hit in the equities, right? In the stock portion of it, or mutual funds. And now they just took it in the stock because those interest rates have gone up. And so when that happens and the interest rates go up like that, that's where that's when gold will start to shoot up. So you have the weakening dollar, inflation, people coming over the border, and then people see all this spending and, all the things that are going on. And then you look, the market goes up, the dollar went up, and gold and silver came down. And that is totally out of left field. That's very, very manipulated because things act the way they act. So, if you have a watchdog, someone comes in, he's going to bite the intruder. That's how they act. He's not going to quack like a duck one night, right? And just do it. That would be an anomaly. And so that's what's happening when you see the market move up. And I'm not talking about with the Trump phenomena, because that was a massive infusion of cash in the market because people were excited Trump was in. They feel safe again, and they invested. It was like trillions went in the market.
Yeah.
So that can push it up, and that's still artificial because it's just going in now because there's still all this underlying BS that is happening. And so what he's saying is, you think the debt is going to be wiped out in a year that's not going to be wiped out that quickly. So it's not, it just interest rates don't fall back in line. Inflation don't go to zero. None of that happens with like the snap of a finger. So it's going to take time because it took time for it to get here, as bad as it is. So, he's not a magician. I think he will work to make it better. He's a businessman. He'll do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
But, expectations, watch what the expectations are, because it doesn't happen that quickly. And he's been a miracle worker with some things, I got to say.
Yeah.
But just what Jim is saying, it was like, it can't be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to take time.
Intuitively, I feel like once some of these things get sorted out too, we're going to see a more fair representation of what the gold and silvers, are valued at, and how that is. And I think the people that are holding on to it, that were buying in when it was lower, especially silver, I think we're going to be very pleasantly surprised.
A lot of people trading their gold into silver.
Yeah, that's right. You were telling me that he actually had customers that were doing that at one point. So
yeah, and some in their IRA accounts because it was long term, and some people who are very credible out there saying they think that silver at some point in the future can trade at parity with gold.
Yeah,
which would be incredible compared where they're at.
Where it's at now. Can you imagine if you were buying in the $20 range or right around there, and then 1 ounce is now worth 2,600 or 2,800 or more, and really that's kind of where it should be, because we're finding out, if you listen to some people, gold is actually a lot more prevalent, right? It's like it's around a lot more. Of silver, not so much, and we're using silver in industry and technology and stuff. So,
but that's what makes silver a little bit more volatile. I mean, it's really interesting because what happens is when you do go into a recession, if people stop buying electric cars, then they stop making electric cars. That means they're using less silver. More silver goes into the supply, so silver can come down. And then so it can be, it could be that volatile. So anything you do when you're looking at silver and gold, it's not a get rich quick. It's a buy and hold to build wealth. It's a store of wealth. That's what it's been, and that's what you want to look at it. And I mean, if it happens to move up quickly like it did over this last year, since like last November, say gold was at 1,600 in the 1,600s, and now it went up to 2,800. That's a huge move in a relatively short period of time. That's awesome. And a protective asset, you don't really find that. If it's a protective asset, the yield is very low, risk to reward. So you can get that, but really it's something that you want to store your wealth. You want to put a portion of your money, in there. It's not financial advice. It's just some of the things that we talk about. And also, that's where when you look at, when you can get into, crypto and stuff like that. And then, you want to, keep a watch on the BRICS nations.
And look
many countries are in there now.
And I think looking outside of, what we've been doing, because it doesn't really work for us, right? Like the stuff that we've all kind of had, I mean, especially the last several years, but the system in general, it just feels like it's very, tilted, not for, us. So
Not for the average person.
when you can step out of it a little bit and find other ways outside of it via crypto or those kind of things, I think that's exciting. And I think that's something that we can do. And coming from a spiritual place, and Jenny Moonstone talks about this a little bit too. But, if you're talking about like the two metals, silver and gold, and the energies that come in them, because they're from the earth, right? They're from the planet. They hold a certain energy. They have a certain thing. And she was getting intuitively that, silver was kind of holding back almost on their own anyway, because consciously we weren't ready to accept in a certain way what it was and what the energies that it was holding. So, and that there was kind of like an overlay on both of those. So it'll be interesting to see as our consciousness kind of raises up and we become more intuitively grounded into the planet and kind of where we are during this ascension period. How is silver and gold going to meet us in that space, and us working together in communion with that is going to be interesting. And I'm excited for that aspect of it, because I feel like I can't wait to see the energies that these two metals hold and how they help us propel our community and our society and humanity.
Yeah, just the other day she squirted Gold&Silver in my mouth.
Oh,
so hey, I'm getting it all over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so me just so they know too, every second Tuesday or every other Tuesday, I do on deep dives in the Desert Channel. We do Crypto Corner. Usually it's at 10 a.m. in the morning, but West Coast time.
Yeah,
but yeah, and just so you know, Lisa is some trader with her crypto. But you look at XRP. Did really well, and some of the cryptos, and what when you see what Trump is saying, that we're going to be the crypto capital of the world, and he talks about some of the different cryptos that they created their own crypto because they got iced out of the banks and stuff. And so when you look at where we're going, it's really interesting. And so we try to put out, me and Jace, who's really kind of a young stud in the crypto space and really
very knowledgeable.
Really
and
good.
He's got a lot of stuff that can help too through his conscious crypto, which we post some of the stuff for him too. And Jake was saying, thank you for your insight, John.
Oh, you're welcome, Jake. Good to see you. If you come on this Tuesday coming, right?
I think so. This Tuesday coming. And Welcome Healing said the same thing. She said, thanks for the information, John. So there's a lot of new and exciting things that are going to kind of be coming out, and it's interesting to see. And I love hearing your insight on it, because you really, first, decades now, you started out on Wall Street, and then you kind of moved into, the banking side of it. And then you moved into the precious metals, and now, the crypto stuff. So it's, you've got a well-rounded,
yeah, and it's interesting going through some of like the recession, and we're just going through it when the bank we were at went out of business.
Yeah,
because of what happened. So it was interesting going through it, seeing it all, and then look now when they create movies about it, like The Big Short and stuff, and you can like kind of go back and look at the whole thing at one shot from like 30,000 feet. Because when you're in it, it was so hectic. Remember, everyone was so chaotic.
Stressful time, yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, it really. But the main thing is, you always want to be prepared and always want to stay right on a timeline where you're co-creating the right things.
Yeah, and with joy and excitement and enthusiasm for what's coming, right? Because the energy that we put into this stuff is going to be how we create it. So, I think it's really important to just have that that thought about, what it is that we're creating here with finances and how we're going to use it.
Yeah. And so, what you want to make sure you're focusing too on the right things, on, not, you don't want to focus on, I don't want to lose money or come from that type of mind frame, because it makes me think of when race car drivers, when they teach you how to drive around the track, when you're going around a turn at say 120 miles an hour, people look at the wall because they see it coming at them and they're trying to turn. Well, where your energy or your focus goes, your energy flows, and those people crash directly into the wall. Where those people go in the same speed, they teach them to turn and look away from the wall on the track. And those people, for some crazy reason, do not hit the wall. They come very close. And Tony Robbins was saying because that's how they train. Like someone like me, if I wanted to go, like when we go to the track here. But I think that's so interesting. And it's the same thing with this. You want to focus your energy on where you want to go, not maybe, what's coming up. And if you make good decisions, don't crash into the wall, keep your energy moving in a nice, flowing way. And I think that if you get in some of the crypto, you have some of the precious metal, which is always going to be protective for you, always be there especially during bad times.
Tangible. And
it's tangible. So you can use it it's used in currency. It's been used for currency for millennia.
Yeah.
And so it's a great store of wealth. But with the cryptos that we really concentrate on, that they're on the Ripple platform, the XRP, XLM.
That's what Wellness Healing was asking you. Which ones?
Oh yeah, Corium, Sologenic.
XRP.
Yep. Yeah. XRP is is going to be the big one. We think, that looks like it's going to be the one where, if you want to send money to somebody in Russia, it'll be there in 2 seconds for a couple of pennies. And it'll be there very, very quickly. And what's good, it takes so little energy for XRP to do that. And you're looking at about 7,000 transactions per second, where you look at Visa can do maybe 1,500. So it just blows it out as far as speed. And then with the other ones that are linked to it, there's passive income options. Corium does, 25% a year in passive compounded interest, which is amazing to have. But what it'll allow you to do is really be your own bank, be your own brokerage, be your own vault of gold. If you had gold, you could literally send physical gold to Russia if you wanted to, which sounds wild. I was so interested when I heard that. And they just reconcile off the books, like from, here to Russia. And I don't want to go into it now, it's too long, but we talked about it on the show. But with that comes a lot. That's a lot of responsibility.
Oh, our cat's moving.
And so you want to make sure, the custody and control and being very protective and being secure. So always having, a good coach alongside you or someone who could guide you before you do something that you step on a landmine and something can happen. So, but we wellness, or welcome healing, we really stay with those core 6. I like to joke, not joke, but I like to fool around. I did get into some of the smaller meme coins that did have some utility with it, but and so I enjoyed trading with those a little bit, but you want to make sure whatever you're looking at has utility. So like, again, the Ripple platform, that has utility because it can handle all the financial industry, whatever banks are around, whatever, everyone's
not financial advice.
Yeah, no, it is not financial advice. It's just that they're going to use it in the financial system.
Yeah.
As a transfer system. So SWIFT will be gone. The SWIFT system should be gone. And probably a dozen or so cryptos will actually be left standing when it's all said and done. And it's going to be the ones with utility that have teeth in it, right? That have real world application, and there's stuff like, look at Elon Musk said he wants to, colonize Mars, and XLM could be a platform where you probably can do interstellar transfer of money, and you will need to do so if you want to move there at some
point. We have XLM.
Yes.
And yes, I agree with you, Jake. Pluto and Aquarius. I was just watching some videos today about that, and it's a very exciting time. And this conversation kind of all goes with that, right? So it's a time for us to just kind of manifest our abundance and recognize it for what it is, and realize that there's stuff still going on around us. We're going to see it, and we're going to be, because we're witnessing a lot of things that are changing. But where we kind of put our focus and how we decide to move forward it can be a really exciting time. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I don't know if I went too far into that, because you know me, I can talk for hours about this stuff.
Yeah, well, he's a wealth of information. That's why it really is good if you're a little bit interested in it at all. Like, check out his show that he does with Jace from Conscious Crypto. They really get into some stuff, and Jace has really got a lot of information on that too. So, I mean, a lot. Like, he's really good. He helped us a lot when we were deciding to kind of check into it and everything. We went into his program and learned a lot of stuff there. So. And the good thing about him and his program is that once you're there, you're kind of in there for life. So if you ever have questions or whatever, it's not like this finite period of time. It's like you can reach out to him. I don't care if it was, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and kind of go, hey, this, and they will answer your questions and help you with that.
Yeah, and I think that both of us together, as we started this partnership up, there's going to be some exciting things to come around the bend where we want to make sure that anyone who is serious about it, we want to make sure that they set themselves up correctly and they know exactly what we're doing. And again, it's not it's just what we're doing. And so you can choose to look at it, and if you choose to move forward with it, great. But any questions that you have, will always be there and for you. And yeah, I think both of us, the experience that I bring with all the different and traditional, kind of investment stuff, and being in the different industries, and him, he is he's so focused in with crypto that it's great. And I look at it this way: Michael Jordan, best ever basketball player; Tom Brady, best ever quarterback. They both had coaches every day, even though they were the best at what they do. And so this is really about your success moving forward and protecting your family moving forward. So, you always want to make sure, if you need help, get the help you need, and make sure you got a clear plan for yourself.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was fun. I think we talked about a lot of stuff tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, those videos that we did early on, those were, we found those on X. And then I will post the Jim Willie link with Underground, Patriot Underground. Thank you. I always do this backwards thing. But anyway, so if you want to watch the whole thing, there's a ton of really good stuff in there. So please, if you are so inclined, go to Rumble and watch the rest of that, because it was really interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. And the fact that that guy can sift through all the stuff Jim Willie was saying and be like, and give his points, that he's impressive too. That guy, I like Patriot Underground. That's a good channel. He's a very, very solid guy.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. So.
But anyway, it was great to be with you guys. And again, Crypto Corner will be on this Tuesday coming.
Oh, and then don't forget to tune in on Sunday for Sacred Sites.
That's going to be a good one.
We have got some stuff happen, guys. When Katie and I went up to Mount Charleston, we had some supernatural and some very interesting things, and we got like some footage. And and
a really amazing story. I just don't want her to say anything she shouldn't say, because you wait till you hear the whole thing with her and Katie talking about it.
Wow,
it's crazy.
I'm telling you, we had some stuff, and I got a video, and I got some still shots to share with you guys. It was incredible. And afterwards I had Allison Wagner. She changed her channel name, and it's Ancient Oak. Now it's called Ancient Oak. Ancient Oak. Gosh, sorry, Allison, I can't remember. But it's the same. If you were subscribed to her channel, it didn't change. It's the same. It's the same thing. So I think it's Ancient really Oak Psychic Arts. That's it. Ancient Oak Psychic Arts. I had her pull cards, and she told me what happened with some of this stuff. And I talked to my very good friend Katie from Katie and the Chorus, and she gave me her insights as well. And it was,
we love Katie too.
Yes, it was extremely, extremely interesting. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. That's going to be Sacred Sites with Katie Mabry. And I would love to do it live.
We should
try to do that one live,
especially with the story. This one is this is going to be a good one. I can't wait.
This was crazy. Yeah, I mean, our Sedona stuff is cool, and then we've got a Sedona one coming up. I think tomorrow was the finish up from stuff with Sedona, and we share our medbed.
Oh yeah,
our medbed stories and experiences, which was also
everybody should do that.
Crazy, guys. Arcturus Ra You can find his channel on YouTube, and he's got a website as well.
Aziz in?
And Aziz went out. If you didn't watch Aziz,
You gotta watch
please
that.
watch Aziz. We were gonna do a commentary and have, you know, the Aziz thing, but it wasn't happening, and I just wanted to get it up. So it's really just the interview with Aziz, but it's so interesting. He's a remote viewer from Farsight Institute, which his father was a founder of, and I ran into him at Odyssey Sedona, which was Tony Rodriguez's conference in Sedona, and incredible guy. So interesting, and I got to ask him about all the different remote views that I was curious about.
Interesting remote views.
Really interesting, like Noah's Ark, you guys. Okay,
Mhm.
like and a lot of other Zeus, and I mean, it's worth watching. It's really good. It's a short one. It's just over. I think it's just a half hour long.
You know
but-
what we should do after we see what comments we get, and if maybe we can always go back and cut it up and talk through it and do like a live.
Should I share our information about my talk today with who I have coming up?
Yeah.
Should we do that or should we wait? Okay, so I don't have the date scheduled yet. I just have
This is
the
exciting.
conversation, but we are going to have Laura Eisenhower on. So I definitely going to want to do that one live as well. So Laura Eisenhower is
she's
gonna be
awesome.
we love her. Not only do we love watching her and all of that, but
smart.
we have been in her presence and at conferences and stuff. She's an amazing woman.
Yeah, she has so much information that she tries to get out because it's just full. She is chock full of information.
She is. She's
I
an
can't wait to
incredible
interview
human.
her.
And we're really excited about that one. That's gonna be super exciting. So
once we get a date, we'll let you guys know, and we'll definitely put it out because that's going to be another good one. So we have a lot of really good shows, a lot of really good things coming up. Coming up. So
the Tuesday show is on Rumble and YouTube, and I think you do it on Facebook as well, right? The problem is with Facebook is when we set it up on StreamYard, for some reason it makes it private. So sometimes if I'm not around, we don't remember it's on my my personal Facebook. So it's under Lisa DiMartino, but I will click on there and make it go public. For some reason it defaults to private, so I can see it.
I have to do it on screen.
But anyway, no, it doesn't. We tried and we couldn't figure it out. But anyway, I'll go on and I'll make it. So it'll be on both, just like tonight we have Facebook.
And I'm going to try and put out a promo,
like a reminder.
I'll try and get it out there too. I'm going to learn how to do all this stuff, guys. That's why there's not a ton of promotion going out, but it's really interesting. And so
thank you all for joining us,
and we'll see you next time.
Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. We're trying to
smash
grow
the like button.
We're trying to grow our subscriptions, and if you feel so compelled to share this with anybody you think would be interested in it, we would really appreciate that. And I'm that's what I was saying. I was manifesting I'm trying to manifest in that we are going to get into the thousands with our subscribers. So that's where we're trying to go. So if you could help us out with that, we would appreciate it. And we love you all for joining us and appreciate you being here. And we will see you again.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.